Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 125 of The Sound. I am Kevin Harris.
I am Lisa Wills.
And I'm Jared Seymour.
And we've got a good show ahead. And so we've got the grudge match that we're always going to start with, and it's going to be Dark Remedy facing off against Of Virtue. But our guest tonight is going to be Molly Diago, who's got a new single out called My Sweet Burning Heart, and we're going to talk to her about that. But we are also going to have Scott Stevens, who is the singer of the Exies, and he is also one of the four horsemen of music. And if you guys don't know, I was talking to Lisa off the air. So Scott, not only lead singer of the band Exies, but he's a songwriter, producer with this Four Horsemen group. And his credits include Shinedown, American Authors, Hailstorm, Aaron Jones, Dorothy, Nothing More, Skillet, 6 a.m., Scott Stapp, Highly Suspect, Chris Daughtry, New Year's Day, many more. He's got 12 number one active rock radio songs, 20 top fives, 28 top tens. Some of the big ones that he's been a part of is How Did You Love or How Did You Love from Shinedown. He co-wrote that. He co-wrote Sick of It, which was the Christian rock song of the year for the band Skillet. And he also co-wrote and produced 4 songs on The Stories We Tell Ourselves, the Grammy-nominated album by Nothing More. So he has a lot of credits to his name, and the Four Horsemen themselves. Just what I don't have it up in front of me right now, but it's like 144 or 144 million albums sold, and just
wow.
So many hits, including Buck Cherry's Sorry and Aerosmith's Jaded and Ozzy Osbourne's Dreamer and Uncle Cracker's Smile. And I mean, it's just Rascal Flatts, Carrie Underwood. It's all across all genres that the Four Horsemen are a part of. And if I remember right, and what I heard was they are responsible for most of the new Plush album with the writing of that. So we'll be chatting with him about all of that and goings on. So, but we haven't talked in a while. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
I'm good. What you all been doing, man? I got sucked up to Connecticut to go work at Capulet Fest last weekend, a couple weekends ago, and that was pretty awesome. Saw Memphis, got to meet Memphis Mayfire, Crown the Empire. It was great couple days, man. Any Given Sin played, so of course when they were like, "Oh, you want to come up?" I was like, "Yeah,
sure, why not?" Well, speaking of fest, we have our own fest coming up here in a couple weeks, as Dirty 30 Fest is about to happen in about 2 weeks. Seventh Day Slumber, Rise Among Rivals, and Vision 7. Carbon Stone and them guys. It's going to be at the Juke Joint. Tickets are available right now at thesound228.com. Go out and pick up those tickets. Looking forward to it. We got the Cannabis Candy Shop, Louisiana Loud, Cathead Vodka, Old Soul Bourbon, Wake Up Music, all being a part of the show. So we want to thank them for being a part of the show and helping us put on this wonderful show that we're going to have some fun doing. So make sure you go get your tickets at thesound228.com. Jared, what's been up with you?
Yeah.
No, I haven't been to any live music in a good while, so I'm very much looking forward to Dirty 30 Fest. A lot of those bands, that I've been wanting to see, so that's going to be killer. I'm going to knock some of them off the list all at once. Just working on trying to get, like, let me see if you can see her, like my little home studio stuff going on. That's the electronic kit right there. I don't know how bad that is, but anyway, trying to get to where I can just like demo out stuff at the house quickly. So that's kind of been where my head's been at as far as music is concerned.
With your rap album?
That's still out there. Just there hasn't been any work done to that idea yet. In a
When you're talking about that, are you talking about doing some of your own stuff and recording your own stuff, or is it Falls from Grace stuff, or
all of it? Hopefully, like I've got 3 or 4 riffs of just my shit, but that usually ends up blending in the Falls from Grace stuff anyway. But just whatever, just getting the creative juices going back again. People that play, I mean, like if I was like, man, why aren't you recording these things? I got tons of stuff on my phone where you just put the phone down and start noodling around, but it's like the technology nowadays, we talk about it on the show all the time. I mean, it's here, it's simple. Just plug in, hit the computer and go, So that's what-
Absolutely. Well, that's exciting.
yeah.
I still want to hear that rap song though. I still want to hear that.
Coming. You'll hear it. You'll
I
hear
want
it.
a rap song about fishing. I am so down.
Now, whether you like it or not, it'll be a different story, but you will hear it.
I tell you, we won't get into this long story of it again, but I actually dug it. I did not think it was him. It was that freaking good. I did not think it was Jared. So, not saying Jared's bad, but I'm just saying it was so good. I thought it was somebody else.
I can't wait.
So, all right. Well, we've got the grudge match coming up of Virtue and Dark Remedy. You know how it works. If you're watching us on Facebook, you'll see a poll pop up during the second video, and you'll vote video number 1 or video number 2. And I want to hear what? I want to hear the monkeys.
Oh my gosh, he's talking about the TikTok video he found of you, which he's been asking me to put on our socials, and I'm like,
where is he at? Why is he in the comments and not on the stream? Is he
because he's on the way back from Spirit Box.
okay?
He was he was at the Spirit Box show, so he's on the way home. But
that is so out of character for me.
It's
that when I did it, I was like, God, do I even want to post this?
oh my gosh, it's so.
Did you
funny.
see it, Jared?
Oh yeah,
so funny. I mean, when he said
alerted me to it. So.
Oh my gosh,
really?
I saw it and I was like, oh my god.
I thought it was good. It was funny. That's what TikTok's for.
I know it was really funny, but it was Kevin, and Kevin doesn't usually do things like that.
And I was 100% taking a shit when I did that.
Well,
that's context, which is always great.
Yeah, now it's.
I was scrolling through TikTok and somebody had that filter, and I was like, "Oh, I wonder what it would look like." And then I was like, "Oh, here we go," and that's what happened.
Yeah, so that's going to be posted to our social media.
Anyways, all right, back to the grudge match. Let's go ahead and let's get that thing started right now. It is of Virtue versus Dark Remedy, and we'll start off with of Virtue. Here we go.
Cut me open!
You're muted.
Yeah, we're all muted. It's all
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
All right, it's a lot of buttons to click.
That's
Okay.
all right. If you are familiar with the name of Virtue, because they were one of the original bands that were supposed to play Rockin' the Sound, and
Correct.
unfortunately, due to some incident, they weren't able to. But that is new music from them. So we're going to roll. Scott just showed up in backstage, so we're going to roll into video number 2, and Matt James is here too. So we'll let
Yeah, I
Matt
think
in.
he
real
was
quick.
going to talk about.
He did decide to join us.
Well, he just saw a Virtue
Yeah.
twice.
So tell us, how was a Virtue?
Hang on, I think I'm having internet issues.
Oh.
Can you
We
hear
can
me
hear
okay?
you. There's just maybe
Yeah.
yeah, it's a delay maybe.
Oh, there's a huge delay.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'll be right back.
All
All
right.
right.
So we're going to roll into video number 2 from Dark Remedy. This one's called Now or Never. The poll will pop up. We'll vote, and then we'll be back and chat with Scott Stevens, which I am very, very excited about.
Welcome to the table, now let's make a deal. Business and pleasure, now let's make it real. Sit back, relax, and let's unwind. No going back this time. You thought you could take this opportunity with impunity when you time that dotted line. Don't you know what's in store for you, or what I'll put you through, so I can control your mind. It's now or never. You're out of time. You should've known better, 'cause now you're mine. Sitting on your shoulder, whisper in your ear all the little things that you need to hear. There's no mistake, you'd be satisfied. Now feed the demon inside. You thought you could keep your humanity or your sanity when you signed that dotted line. But I gotta get through to you that no matter what you do, the blood on your hands can't turn back time. It's now or never. You're out of time. You should've known better, 'cause now you're mine. I'll let it take its course, 'cause I have no remorse. I'm pulling all your strings. You can take this opportunity with impunity when you sign that dotted line. Don't you know what's in store for you, or what I'll put you through, so I can control your mind. It's now or never. You're out of time. You should've known better, 'cause now you're mine. It's now or never. You're out of time. You should've known better, 'cause now you're mine. Yeah, yeah.
All right, that was video number 2. That was Dark Remedy, Now or Never, and of course, on bass for that was Mexis, and on drums Paul Crosby, which makes the band Dark Remedy right now. So the poll is up. People are commenting that they voted. Vote video number 1 or video number 2. Now that's if you're on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, video number 1 or video number 2. Put it in the comments. We'll count it, and we'll move on from there. And here is Matt. Matt, you back?
I'm back, I think. If this doesn't
That's
work, I'll have to
amazing.
change to my phone, but
Yeah,
we
it's a
can hear
little
you.
delayed, homie.
Yeah, there's a little bit of delay there.
Go to the phone and get back on here. We can
all
get
right,
this
I'll
interview
change over
started.
to my phone.
All right.
All right, now we are going to bring Scott
Scott.
Stevens in. Very, very excited for this. I can't tell you how excited I am.
You were so excited before the show started.
Scott, how are you,
Hello.
man?
I'm good. How are you guys
We are good.
and ladies?
Yeah.
Yes.
We are good. Very happy to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Of course, I loved you before you were doing all your writing and producing with the Exies.
Thanks, man.
We got to share a little story when I was trying to get you on the show about a show that was done in Pascagoula, Mississippi at Thunder's Tavern, where we had a gun pulled on us in the parking lot.
Yeah, I mean, literally, if you really, really think about that, it could have all ended.
Yep.
So easily. I mean, that guy was seconds away from open fire, man. I don't understand.
Yeah.
What I can't remember is how the police got there so quickly. It's like they were just around the corner.
Because they were. It's
Because they were.
Yeah.
It was Thunder's Tavern, and Thunder was in good with the police. I'm sure that he said, "Hey, we've got a good crowd. You might want to hang out a little close."
Right.
Because it didn't take long for them to pull into that parking lot.
I mean, it didn't take any time. I just remember everything kind of going in slow motion as I watched him pop his trunk and pull out this assault rifle. And I was like, wait, what's happening? And I looked over at Brad because I was in Brad's truck
Right.
listening to his next record. We were listening to Rough Mixes, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? And this guy has a thing, and he's loading in the magazines, and all of a sudden the cops show up and it's all diffused. But that's a situation that no one ever wants to relive. And I actually hadn't thought of it until you.
Thanks.
You brought that bad memory back up to the
All
side.
right, way to go, Kev.
Yeah.
Kevin, bringing the
Well,
reality
it's just
right
so,
back into
I
focus.
didn't want to seem like some random dude messaging him, so I wanted to remind him of who I was if he remembered. But that was the only moment that I could think that would stick out in anybody's head of that night.
Yeah.
So
That's
Yeah.
definitely a moment that you're never
Well,
going to forget, especially
it was
when it's moving
magical.
in
It was
slow mo,
magical.
life going
crazy.
before your eyes.
But Scott,
Yeah.
I want to show this to you. I still have it. Here it
What?
comes.
Oh shit! Look at that. Oh, I think I have that too somewhere with all my laminates. Cool, man.
But yeah, that's my little claim to fame. So,
Nice.
but I love
It
it.
worked, though. It worked.
The story
The-
should be more significant than that, because I don't think that happens to too many people.
No, it doesn't. So, but let's move on past that.
Yeah.
And let's move on to where we're at now. Take us. So the Exies, I guess I don't want to say ended, but the Exies stopped putting music out. But then you just recently released some new stuff under the Exies. Tell me about that.
Well, like as you said, the Exies just kind of stopped. We never officially broke up. It just kind of, I don't know. We just kind of all took a break, and everybody started, to do other things, and I got into writing and producing, and learning Pro Tools and how to craft songs for other people, and that took years. This is what I do now, but it doesn't even matter how many songs I've written or how much success I've had. I think every new song is, I'm just, back at ground zero, and because they're all different. So, and it's a code to crack, and I never follow a formula. So it's always a challenge and a good challenge. But yeah, man, I mean, this last song that I put out, Spirits High, in January, was to commemorate the 20th anniversary of Inertia, which was our major label debut. And I just kind of wanted to put something back, out there. Look, people have been hitting me for years on various DMs for like, when some new stuff coming? Are you guys finished forever? That kind of a thing. And I never really knew what to say. And it wasn't until the year before that Chad Nicefield from the band Wilson, which I love those guys, and I produced their last record, and I did this song with them called Dump Truck, and he was the one that made me aware. And he said, "You've got like 300,000 people following the Exies," and I was like, how's that possible? And we haven't done anything in, at that time, I think like, 16, 17 years or something. And that kind of started me thinking, as well as what happened in, to all of us in COVID and the downtime. And, I started to feel really boxed in, and I started to kind of like write these diary songs that were kind of coping mechanisms to help me get through this shit. And, they started to form, and there was a batch of them. There was like 5 or 6, and Spirits High was the first one that I completed, and it felt kind of optimistic because of the situation that we were all in, but yet a little bit like, what the fuck, like I don't know really how to proceed with my life, because I've never been taught how to, live at home 24/7 with somebody and, never go anywhere. So
right.
it became an adjustment period, and it kind of went into that song. And when I was done, I figured, what? The 20th anniversary is coming up. My band wanted to do something on the 10th anniversary, and I just didn't want to do it. I was too busy producing, and I was too busy writing with other people, and I felt kind of bad about that, so I wanted to make up for it. I wanted to make some amends and say like, hey guys, I got this idea, you want to flush it out, and like, let's figure it out. And nobody really wanted to kind of really jump back into that pond yet, because everybody moved on in their life, and Freddie's in Everclear, and Dennis, my drummer, is, a senior VP at Universal for catalogs and works with Paul McCartney and, people like that. And I just took it upon myself to kind of finish the song in the best way that I felt like represented everybody in the band and what they would normally play, because I spent so much time with them. This is what Freddie would do, and this is what Dennis would do, and this is what David would do. And kind of just was patient. And it took me like 2 years of, messing with it so that it would be something, and when I was done, I was like, well, let's just see what happens, and maybe people will like it. And it was received really well by the fans. And it's very encouraging to, think about doing more because of that. So I didn't really realize that I had needed that after working with, Hailstorm and Shinedown and Nothing More and Johnny Stevens from Highly Suspect and all these people that I've worked with, Skillet, and, like, it felt good to have my voice again, I guess, and to say something that I felt. And, some people seem to be relating to it. So I guess that's as good as it gets.
Well, if you'll do us the pleasure, I'd like to play a little bit of the lyric video, if that's okay, so people watching can hear some of the newest stuff from you. So here you go, guys. It's Spirits High. It's the Exies. Check it out. You're watching this out.
Nice.
Try to keep my spirits high so I don't come down, even though I have to lie to keep myself devout. It's hard to read between the lines when everything starts to blur, and though I'm scared I won't make it out, I feel promise. Supposed to be, but underneath supposed to be. So why do I start to panic when I'm losing self-control? Or maybe I'm just discouraged and getting sick of trying to cope. So how do I tell my friends I feel better when I'm by myself, and that I'm scared but I'm over it? 'Cause it never seems to hurt. 'Cause I believe I'm right where I'm supposed to be. But underneath, there's something there that's haunting me. I'm seeing ghosts, I'm going mad, my mind is slipping through the cracks. But I believe I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, oh yeah, where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, oh yeah. It's getting easy to pretend when the lights go dark, and though it never makes much sense, I believe it in my heart. I try to keep my spirits high, so I don't come down. So I don't come down. Yeah. 'Cause I believe I'm right where I'm supposed to be. But underneath, there's something there that's haunting me. I'm seeing ghosts, I'm going mad, my mind is slipping through the cracks. But I believe I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Well, I will say that you definitely nailed that Exies sound. You definitely nailed that.
Thanks, man.
That was good. That was really good, man. That's killer.
Thank you.
Those are
Maybe
some powerful
came from a
lyrics
little
for
bit of a
sure.
dark place during the lockup. Is that what that was?
Yeah, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it's you're always how whether you're a spiritual person, whatever it is, religious, this or that, you're always supposed to kind of be where you are,
Yeah.
and I'm contemplating that when COVID was shut down. Not just me, it was everybody I knew, my sister, my brother, my family, my mother, my father, and everybody trying to cope with like what is this new reality, this new existence. And I mean, is this where I'm supposed to be right now? And that kind of, I guess that maybe a sullen optimism. Like this sucks, but I'm optimistic that we're gonna get through it. And that's kind of where it all sprung from, just my own insecurities. And like I said, I didn't ever meant for that song to come out. It was more of like a diary coping mechanism, and it just seemed to keep developing, and the lyrics just seemed to be, so blunt. And I finally started to make peace with it and go, I wonder if there's other people that feel the way I do here. I mean, there's got to be, and before I knew it, I had the song, and there it is. And I put it out, and I hope you feel something. I hope you see yourself in it somewhere,
Yeah, for sure. Did I hear you right though? Did the other guys chime in on that, or you kind of like tried to emulate what you thought they would have done? Was that song?
Yeah, that
Okay.
that was me just trying to emulate what everybody might do, because like I said, I reached out to David, who's no longer with us. He passed, and I had spoken to him the year before and said, I have this song that's kind of like unfinished, and I think the fans that were with us back in the day, that they might like it, and he didn't really want to rehash the past, and I so I didn't push. And I think I took that as a sign is that everybody's kind of moved on, and you know what, I'll just do this because I'll do it for the sake of doing it. And there it is. But I was with those guys for 13 years of my life. So I feel like I know their styles. I know how they perceive music. And it was fun, even though it was kind of, it wasn't easy doing that because I hadn't even sang a song in, I don't know, 15 years, 16 years. So finding, that voice again and doing it was no easy task. I think I quit like twice and cursed the world.
Yeah, that's how you know it's working. Fuck this. I'm not doing it.
This fucking thing. Yeah, and
you're on to something. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
What
secret? You gotta hate it. I don't know.
What was it like? Kevin and I were mentioned at the beginning of the show, and I was actually looking it up too before we went live, like all the stuff that you've been a part of. What's it like writing for other people or with other people versus doing something for yourself? That seems kind of more difficult, I would think, depending on where you're at in the game. Like, are you going from no idea with these people to a finished song, or are they bringing stuff into you as well? Like, can you paint that picture for us?
Yeah, I mean, it really has no set way that it gets done. When I work with like Lizzie, like she and I will, before a record cycle starts, we'll start texting each other and we'll share a note. I'm sharing a note like right now with Lilith Czar and Dorothy too, because I'm like, I want to know like what you're thinking about and like, what inspires you? What, is there a title? Is there is it a song? Is it a TV show? Is it something that somebody said, or is it a quote, or, that kind of a thing. And once you kind of get enough of that information kind of going, I always have to kind of like perceive, how they sound to me. And then I just have to be like bold and say, this is how I think that this feels like a Hailstormy riff. Like, what do you think? And then she'll either say yeah, or she'll say no, and it's kind of hit or miss. And sometimes, she and I have had a really great partnership over the years. And, we have a lot of songs that nobody's ever heard that kind of suck, but then there's good songs, like Miss the Misery and Miss Hyde and Apocalyptic and Back from the Dead and The Steeple and, all Terrible Things and, those songs, but there's
named off my Spotify playlist.
Huh?
I said, it seems like you just named off my Spotify playlist.
So, with every artist, it's different. And it took me a while because I was in a band and I was just writing for myself. And I actually kind of got a little bit of a schooling in writing for others when I didn't know that it was happening. I was on tour with Motley Crue in 2005, and I started writing songs backstage on days off with Nikki and started demoing them on Tommy Lee's bus. And those songs turned into 6 a.m. songs with James Michaels. Okay. And James Michaels was my producer for my last Exies record. And so it became this kind of like weird incestual kind of, we don't really realize what we're doing, but we kind of formed this little tribe and we started to, write what would be 6 a.m., some of the starts for those songs. And that's where I got my first like taste of what it's like to write for somebody else. And even though I always put myself in there, because I feel like it's something I have to feel too. And something that hopefully that they feel, or if they're coming at me, then I have to assimilate and get into what they're feeling. Like Lizzie will say, I want to write a song about us coming together like a church of rock and roll. And then we write The Steeple. This idea comes like out of her head. And I'm like, okay, I got to figure out how to contribute to what she wants. And, it just comes through practice. It's like anything, you just got to do it a lot. And there's a period right now. I'm going to produce a new Dorothy record. That's, we haven't even started yet, but like the preliminary notes and the preliminary, she and I are on the phone every week and we're talking about things she's into and where do we want to take it and what do we want to take chances on and what do we know we need, to do. And it's those kinds of, building blocks that make it all kind of happen. And there's no one like, this is how it's done. It's a bunch of different little things that I have to corral, and I'm in the service business. I have to help Lizzie and Dorothy and Johnny and Brent Smith and people realize what they want to do. And I got to support it. And sometimes I'm lucky enough to come in with, I got an idea. It's called Back from the Dead. What do you think? And she's like, I love it. And then there we go, and we work on it, and How Did You Love with Shinedown, and like Brent and I talked about what that meant and the philosophy behind it. And, those are all magical moments that the public doesn't really get to see, but that's how the songs are born, and it's conversations and it's openness and taking chances and daring to suck.
Yeah. That's the beauty of music, though. The whole process of it, man, for sure.
It is, definitely.
Sure.
So
Go ahead, Matt.
With working with all these, big artists like Lizzie and Shinedown and stuff, and you're working on these tracks, does it light an inner fire in yourself to want to be back out on that stage?
I'm not gonna lie, yeah.
He's like, fuck yeah.
I remember we had a song called Ugly that did pretty well at radio. I think it got top 5. And I remember we played in Kansas City and it was like 40,000 people or something. And they were singing that song back to me. And that was the greatest rush I'd ever
drug
in my life.
As soon as you brought it up, the first thing that popped in my head is, Are You Ugly Like Me? And I'm like, God, that song was so good.
I was listening to it. I got it pulled up right here. I was listening to it before I hopped in with y'all. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Yeah. And that was
like,
just that one. I remember the first time was at BuzzFest, and we played, I think, at 2:00 in the afternoon, which is not great, as like nobody's really, but it was packed. And when nobody stood up, everybody was kind of disinterested. Yeah, cool. When we launched into that song, everybody stood up, and I kind of lost my shit. I just I got overwhelmed, and I didn't cry or anything, but I couldn't do anything. I was just like, what's happening? And I realized that I had been playing the chord progression like for 8 bars. And finally, like, my guitar player looked at me and was like, fucking go into the song already.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. I mean, once you feel that, sure, I miss it. But I love it when I can stand side stage and watch a band I've worked with perform a song that we wrote together and see people giving it back. I mean, it's amazing. It's unbelievable.
That's I've never been top 5 on Billboard, but writing songs like people that don't do that, you don't realize like there is that other feeling too. It's probably not 40,000 people singing your song back, but when you go from that first idea to finished song, listening back to it with a good mix, there's a feeling there too. That's like watching, it's like your baby was just born, and you get to hear it. So there is that. So I understand what you're doing there with producing with other people. Like I can relate to that for sure.
Yeah, man. The minute that it does what you just said, Jared, is like you realize it's not yours anymore.
Yeah.
It's going to be everybody's now. And that's a weird fucking situation right there. You're like, I got to let it go. It's kind of letting a parent letting a kid leave home or something. Like, look, that's way more significant, of course, parents.
Right.
But it's like
an analogy. It's an analogy.
Version of that. This is something you've crafted, and who knows? Like sometimes you're working on shit for 5 months, and then or it sits for a year. Like that Spirits High song was like 2.5 years, and all of a sudden it's out. And I was really, really nervous 24 hours before that. And then I think we heard from Denmark and like Italy, and people were digging it, and I was like, this is blowing my mind, and then you feel elated and you feel relieved, and it's done.
I mean, but I think though, from the fan perspective, I'm a huge Shinedown fan, and How Do You Love's one of my favorite tracks by them. So as a fan, when I'm standing out there at my umpteenth Shinedown show singing that song back, I mean, your lyrics, those words, literally transform people's lives. Whether you realize it or not, you're transforming somebody's life. You are bringing them from maybe way down here to way up here. You're making them think things out in a different perspective. So I think from a fan perspective, it's also important to hear what good that's doing for other people as well.
Thank you so much. I whether I'm starting something myself or starting something with a co-write, it always starts in a real personal level, and I need it just like you need it. I need it too, to get through whatever I'm going through and whatever struggles I might be facing at that time. And it's medicine. It really is. And I feel very lucky that I'm able to work with such talented people, and to have started out in the business from that perspective of the stage, and be able to like understand what it is to be in the audience, because I'm eternally a fan forever. I mean, I'm the guy I just want to do that, and I just want to relate to the lyric, and I don't care if I wrote it or not, or had a hand in it or not. When it hits, like when I heard Second Chance by Shinedown, I was just like, fuck, and it really hit a chord with me. And I was just like, damn, man, that is just the best fucking song. And it just has the right thing. And, you want to make your parents proud, and not everybody does, but, a lot of people do. And that one just hit me, like countless others.
Wow. I mean, do you have a favorite that you've worked on, or do you have a story about one that maybe was so challenging that it almost didn't make it, but then it did?
Jeez, there's lots of them.
all of them. Yeah, right.
Favorite one.
Oh my God. I don't think I have a favorite. I will say one of the toughest songs, the initial things that happened quickly, but the refining of This Is the Time,
I love
nothing
that.
more, was really challenging to the point where you're like, you guys just got to go off and write the bridge without me, because we can't seem to make it work. And they did. Those guys are kind of muso-y, like they're very good on their instruments, and they wanted something more than what we were doing in that moment. But just getting all the lyrics right, and getting the chorus to be right, and the pre-chorus, and just everything from the arrangement to be what it as was, I think it was like 5 sessions or 6 sessions, and then a break, and then more sessions, and then evaluating the bridge. Do you like this? No, I don't like that. Let's try this. I mean, it had to be 8 to 10 sessions to make that song work. So that's probably the longest one.
Wow. Well, thank you for that. That's my favorite song. Whenever I go to see Nothing More, and I hear those opening, the opening notes of that song, I'm like, yes. The whole crowd goes absolutely manic for that song. So
of course, I went manic. They came in with the riff, and it was called Walking Blind. That was the name of the song.
Okay.
And
makes sense.
And we were like, okay. And I remember the hook just went walking blind like that. And I think I was the one who went walking blind. Like I said, I think I was like, what would Serge do from System? He would do something weird, and we took the note up, and that's what it was called for the longest time. And then after the bridge was written, the music of the bridge was written without me. I think Johnny changed it to This Is the Time. And it's great, man. So.
Those little stories like that, though, knowing those stories behind songs, that's fucking cool to me too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you get a different perspective than everybody else. So sharing them here today, like people will know that now. That's awesome.
Cool. Right. Next time I go to see Shinedown or Nothing More, I'll have a little bit,
it's like that little,
right? Yeah. It
exactly.
changes the way you look at the song a little bit, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, I did How Did You Love right in this room, and my microphone is right there. And I remember that Brent was like sitting over here. as I was kind of playing the piano. I just had the piano and I was kind of humming some stuff, and we didn't really have much. And all of a sudden, he just goes like this, and he just comes up and he's like, "Okay, let's go," you know. And he sat right here, and we just worked on it. And that song, like 2 days, we were done. And he was on that mic cutting, and I think the demo was the final vocal. When I turned it into, it was like, I don't have any changes. Let's just go and track the band now. Let's figure out, like, everybody's got to put their parts on it. And so I was chosen to produce it, and you know, everybody came in, and you know, Zach and Barry and Eric, and they all did their thing, and then I came back here and I put it all together. That was a tough one too. That was 27 mixes to get it to where you know it.
Wow.
Wow.
27 mix passes.
Jesus.
That's a
Wow.
Oh my gosh. I mean, write a book, please.
Yeah,
I want to read it.
You could. You could.
I want to read it from front to back. Don't leave anything out. I know
Okay.
it probably is going to take you at least a decade.
It probably would take me 5 years.
Yeah.
But those
That's-
moments are so great. They're so special. And everybody's so raw in those moments too. And everybody's just like, sure, Lizzie's up there. She's in her stilettos and she's killing it. But there's like these vulnerable moments that we're all just like trying to figure out what it is, you know, and get inside each other's heart and our head and make something happen, you know. And ultimately they're the vehicle. They're the ones that do this. And I'm just trying to help them with their ideas and, you know, make it as real as possible, because they're the ones that have to translate this out there to everybody like you and me, you know. If I sang Back from the Dead, it would sound stupid, you know, but Lizzie does it and it's like, wow, it's awesome, you know, and it's amazing, you know, because she knows what she's doing. She knows who she is and what she wants. And
she has a way to express her style of emotion through her style of vocal. You know what I mean? And you do the same with yours, just in a different way.
Yeah, I could sing her something, and then she just Lizziefies it. You know, just like she just does it. You know, and and it comes out magical.
Wow, what a career!
So
what a life! That's amazing.
I think the takeaway here is write the book. That's
right?
what I think.
Write
the book, not write that book.
Okay.
You know?
How did the Four Horsemen come to be?
That's a good story too. Okay, so I believe I'm going to try to get this right. Okay, so before I really became a songwriter, and I was in a band and I was transitioning out of being in the band, I met two guys at a Super Bowl party that said they liked my band, and we were just talking, and they were like, "Do you want to do a co-write with us? We're doing a record, and this guy named Marty Fredrickson's producing it." I was like, "I heard of Marty. I know he's done like Def Leppard, and he's done like Mick Jagger, and Tina Turner, and you know, freaking legends and stuff like that." And he's like, "Yeah, come over, you know, next weekend." And so I did, and that's when I met Marty. And that was kind of like my first foray into writing, producing without any help from anybody else. And it didn't come out very good, you know, but you know, you got to try, you got to start. And so Zach Malloy, who's another Horseman, his very first co-write was with Marty Fredrickson. My first co-write outside of being in a band ever was with Zach Malloy. He's in a band called the Nixons. And Blair Daly, who's the other Horseman, he's Death. He's Death. Zach is Famine. I'm Conquest, and Marty is War. And Blair I knew from James Michaels, because he'd written with James for some of the 6 a.m. stuff and Kelly Clarkson songs, and you know, like songs like, you know, some country stuff, and like Uncle Cracker and this and that. So he was like an association. I didn't really know him until we really started to get together, but we all kind of knew each other from these pockets. And oddly, 4 years ago, I bought a house in Nashville, and I had Zach and Blair come over to help me like christen my little writing studio, which kind of looks like this place, but it's a little bigger because the house there's bigger. But we christened the studio with a writing session and had a beer and this and that. And in that time we were hanging out, somebody said, my publishing deal's up. And in like October or something. And so this was August. And I said, oh yeah, mine's going to be up too in November. And Zach was like, I'm out of mine next month. And I said, God, wouldn't it be funny if we formed a little like publishing writing entity? Because we've all kind of written together, or inadvertently we've done things on projects with other producers, and our songs are on these records. And Marty had a pool party that Sunday. This was on a Friday. And I remember texting Zach, and Zach texted Blair and said, let's all go to Marty's pool party on Sunday. So we went, and we were kind of sitting around, and Marty, he didn't have a publishing deal. He didn't really want one. He's a very self-contained writer, producer, and has already made his millions. So I made a joke, and I said, hey, what do you think about like the four of us getting together to become a writing producing team, and we'll call ourselves the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse? And Zach took it really serious, whereas none of us kind of did. And I forgot about it for like 2 weeks. And Zach called me when I was back in LA and said, remember that joke you made? Four Horsemen, da da da. I think there's something to it. And I think we should put together a one sheet of what it would be and what we're looking for and who would pay for this and da da da. And about a month went by, kind of was like cold. And then he kept on poking everybody, and we started to kind of talk about it more. And before I knew it, we had a one sheet with a dollar amount and what each of us had done. And it was kind of like, let's send it out. And we sent it out, and it was crickets for a minute. And then I think BMG was the first one. It was Will Hoffman, who manages Nothing More. And he was like, I really like this concept, so tell me about it. And I was like, well, this is how we'll do it, and blah, 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 blah. And he took it to some head at, in New York. And they were like, yeah, I don't know, rock, it's hard to make a buck, blah, blah, blah. But Will was like, yeah, but these guys are on everybody's records, and we should try this thing. And so they passed. And another month went by, and a guy named Josh Gruss, who owns Roundhill Publishing, contacted Marty. He was a friend of Marty's. He had been floating around Nashville, this one sheet. And he's like, I want to do that. You're a part of this Four Horsemen thing. Let's have a meeting. So we had a meeting, and he's like, I'm all in. Let's go. And he funded us, and we built it, and we made T-shirts, and we just started it, And I think the very first cut we got wasn't all of us. It was just Zach. It was a COVID song by Shinedown. Help me. Atlas Falls, which was off of the Amaryllis record. And that kind of kick-started things. And Josh was like, whoa, we already have a song. He's like, yeah, but this was published by somebody else, so you don't get the publishing on this one. But, it wasn't soon after that like, Hailstorm started to happen, and Aaron started to happen, and Dorothy started to happen, and these things. And before we knew it, we had figured out how to kind of work together, who did what, who took the production responsibilities, who took the writing, maybe all four of us on a writing, or two of you, and then the two of us that are producing it kind of hone it and finish it, and how to divide that up and make it fair for the artists so that they still get money on their publishing side. And it became a well-oiled machine after about a year. And I think we had 7 number ones within the last 2.5 years. And, I don't even know, 20 top 10s maybe. So it just, and
worked out for the other guy, didn't it?
Yeah. And we all know each other. We all been in the business so long, and everybody has a little bit something different. And so we lean on each other. And, the whole new Aaron Jones record, Marty and I produced it, and the Four Horsemen wrote it with Aaron, and Aaron wrote some songs himself, of course, but like, that's a perfect example. And then, Rest in Peace is a Four Horsemen song from Dorothy and Black Sheep. And, the Hailstorm record was just me with Lizzie, but, Dead Don't Die is Zach and Blair and Brent and those guys, you know, and so we just kind of interchange and we just go where we're needed, and nobody gets butthurt if they're not on a song, and it just, we contribute where we can, and you know, we're at like I think 6 or 7 billion streams together with all of our stuff. It's pretty cool.
Congratulations, man. That's an
Yeah,
accomplishment.
wow.
Thank you.
What an
I
achievement.
couldn't do it without them, you know, like team, man, is everything.
Right.
Like this is
Yeah.
all of us, you know, making this work. So, you know, no man, no woman is an island. And it really, I never thought something like this would be possible. I think I kind of wanted it to be, but it's amazing to be able to have people to work with like this, you know.
Scott, we could talk for hours with you, man. I know I could for sure. I got 1,000
Right.
more questions, but
Yeah.
I think we got Molly waiting.
Yeah, we do.
I do want to say one thing though, to piggyback on that. We have a magazine that we're starting in August. It's digital first, and then we're going to see where it goes, whether it goes to print. But we would love to pick your brain on some music stuff, insider stuff, publishing, and you know, just everything, man. If it's something you could be into, we could shoot you some emails.
Absolutely. I'll help you guys out with anything you want, you know.
That would be great.
Thank
That would
you.
be great.
Maybe we should do a thing too in the future where we get the 4 Horsemen on here, and you guys will have a man just dedicate. I mean, there's so many hours of stories from Shine Down to Mick Jagger. I mean, it's like
We will give you the whole hour.
I just got goosebumps. You just tell me when.
Yeah,
Tell
really.
us when.
I mean, you get your guys lined up, and we will be digitally
here.
there. So we're in. Because I can listen to those stories for days, man. For
Yes.
real. Like, so,
great. I love
Yeah,
that.
I'll make sure I have a word processor or something nearby where I can type as quickly as you talk.
Right.
On a
The court reporter.
Right?
No, it's all recorded. That's the beauty of the internet, baby.
Well,
just,
right.
you
I'll
know,
have to
and
just
transcribe.
transcribe, right?
Yeah. It's 2023.
Yeah, it is. Thank God.
Thank you so much for being on here. I'm glad that y'all didn't get shot that night, but I'm glad, Kevin, y'all have that story to remember. with-
I'm glad, Kevin. I mean, amazing. Thank you for reminding me of that, and how blessed it is to feel alive after something like that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And here we are talking all these years later. And thanks for playing the lyric video. I really, really appreciate that very much. Thank you.
No, I love it. Love it.
Yeah, thank you for being
But
here.
yeah, look, I'll send you a message. We'll figure out how to do this again because we're down.
Absolutely.
definitely.
Well, Kevin, Jared, Matt, Lisa, thank you so much. And looking
Thank
forward
you.
to the next one. You guys
Yeah,
have a
man.
wonderful
Pleasure
week.
was ours. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Killing it,
Scott.
bro.
All right. Take care.
All
Bye.
right, good night.
That was good.
Wow.
I knew that one was going to be good.
It's really good.
Yeah. I seriously could like just keep asking 1,000
Yeah.
questions about the business because I love that side of it just as much as the music.
Right. I just want to sit here and listen to he can just talk for days and I'd be totally fine.
Yeah. that I don't know if we've mentioned on here or if I've mentioned it before, but like I watched that Jelly Roll documentary and they go into him in his songwriting just for a little bit. You know, his music has changed a lot, obviously, from being
Right.
like rap to what he's putting out now. And watching him and his team sit there, and it's a small team. It's him and like his band, and like he'll bring in like one outsider, kind of like what Scott's talking about, and they just sit there and they just what about this? You know, they don't show a lot of it, but it's just enough to kind of catch the vibe, and it's fucking awesome. It really is.
Well, I think we've made her sit back
Yes.
enough. We need to bring Molly in. She made the post. Her fans are asking where she's at.
Yep.
Here I
She's
am.
right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi guys.
Molly, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's been a while since we've chatted. You've had a lot of things happen over the last year or so.
Yeah, a lot for sure.
I think it's time to fill us in with what's going on with Molly.
Sure. So I don't remember the last time we talked. Maybe 2 years ago.
It might have been that long.
I think it was.
And that was another conversation that was really good about like the business side and all of that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think we talked about like hired gun stuff and all that, which is
Yep.
cool. So I've kind of, continued to invest in my own career. I signed a record deal this year with Wake Up Music, which is exciting. I love Pepper. I love listening to her show on the Sound, of course. And we just put out our first single on Friday. called My Sweet Burning Heart. And I think you guys have spun it. So thank you so much for spinning it. And hopefully a lot of people out there have already heard it, but that's the really high level version outside of some, drama here and there. But I made it here today, so we're good.
So yeah, it was spun a couple times. We are officially adding it this week. So it'll be in rotation, full rotation this week. So love the song. Very, very well done. I didn't watch the video, and I try not to watch videos of guests. I didn't watch it till today when I was getting it ready and then I scrolled through YouTube, and there was a behind the scenes of the making of the video. So I watched that a little bit too. And it was kind of neat to see the behind on how they got certain angles with the camera and how they filmed some of the horses running and things like that. What is your take from when you shot that video? Somebody's asking what kind of horse is in the video.
Yeah, I saw that.
What kind of horse? A broken one. No, he's great. He's actually an ex-racehorse. The cool thing about that, and there's a million cool things about that video, but the coolest thing, that I like is the horse that was in the video was actually a world record holding racehorse, multi-millionaire racehorse that retired and came to me because I love collecting old used things. He was really happy and he loves being the center of attention. So he was perfect for the role. And his name is actually Daddy. I didn't pick that name, but so Daddy got ridden in the video and it was great. And everybody loved him.
Nice.
Right.
You all right up there?
Yes.
I love where this is going.
Right.
No, I love this. I love this.
So from the last time we talked, you signed with Wake Up Music. Tell us how that came about. We're working with Pepper and getting into the recording deal that you guys have with her. Tell us how all of that came about.
Sure. Well, I had left a really terrible situation. I was working with a group called Emerson, where I had a very bad experience and was kind of like completely turned off to music for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, like this little angel pops out of nowhere. And Pepper sent me a direct message on social media. And she says, this might be random, but I just wrote the song. And for some reason, I hear your voice singing it. And I mean, she must have heard my music, otherwise. And I mean, we've kind of always been somewhat mutual friends, or had friends of friends. So I listened to the song. I really liked it. And so no record deal talk at that time. I just said, yeah, I'll happily do the song. It was an honor to be asked to do, to bring someone's work to life. Similar to Scott's story, but on the other side.
Right.
So it was a little bit of a roller coaster how the song came to be. I actually ended up working with another vocalist to kind of piece it together, some really good producers. And finally, we got it to where it was. And she really loved the song. And at that point, she's like, listen, let's do the whole shebang and let's, put out a record. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. I was really excited. Pepper and her team, it's always positive vibes, all the time. And I was coming out of a situation where I really, really was disenchanted from the whole music thing. And so I was really thrilled to have that opportunity. And then, like I said, it just all worked out. And she believed in me. She liked what I was doing. And so the song just came out. The record is done. And hopefully everybody's going to start, hearing more from us soon.
And you signed with Fuel the Fuel Entertainment, correct?
Yes, and I love them. They've been great. Fuel the Funeral Entertainment.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And,
there's a whole lot going on in my head. Sorry about that. I apologize, Terry and Troy, and all. I know y'all are watching. I apologize. Yeah. That was me being a fucking idiot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they honestly, Kevin and all his people have been really, really good to me. Really, really good guy. Also Terry, I love Terry, TFM Entertainment. He's been amazing. Like all these group of people, especially, and they're all like down there, I think, where you guys are, like Mississippi.
Yeah.
Yep. So I've really had the warm Southern welcome from all of them, and they've been really great and supportive. So yeah, I love them.
And you've got, if I remember right, going back, you've got a Mobile show coming up.
I do. Well, kind of. So this is breaking news that I'm breaking on the sound, but unfortunately the tour dates that I had for the next 6 weeks are all getting postponed to the fall because last week I broke my leg. So we decided, yeah, I know. That's probably the most exciting thing that's been going on in my life.
No.
But So I'm going to be back to Mobile. I'm coming to, I think, Gulfport or Biloxi, one of those places, all again in October.
Okay.
So to everybody who's going to come to those shows, I really appreciate you. I still say go out and see some live music, but I'll be back in October for sure.
You didn't want to go. What was it? Zach De La Rocha, I think, did it, and then who else broke their leg and sat on stage with the cast? Why can't I think of who the other one
Didn't
was?
fucking what's his name? Lead singer of Foo Fighters.
Yes,
Dave
Dave Grohl.
Dave
Yeah,
Grohl.
Dave Grohl did it. Yep, he sat.
As much as I'd love to be in the company of Dave Grohl, I'm not there yet. No.
You're like, no, I can't do it yet. Yeah.
No, I'm not. I would assume he's not nearly as clumsy as I am. So it was just, we made the decision that it was best if, we postponed it back a little bit.
I'm definitely messing with it. Yeah, it would be tough to
Your
belt
health
it out.
is more
live.
No, I know.
You know,
I wouldn't be very exciting to watch either. Like I'm hardly
Yeah.
exciting as it is. So like if you take away my legs, I'm not much left, So
So we're getting ready to play the video that we were just talking about. And after we're done, we'll come back. We'll talk about it a little more. We'll talk about what you got coming up with the rest of your stuff with Wake Up and stuff. But here it is. It is Molly Diago. Check it out, and you're watching the sound.
Tell me that you love me as you go and watch me cry. My sweet burning heart, my sweet burning heart. Tell me that you need me and you go and bleed me dry. My sweet burning heart, my sweet burning heart. And there's a very special place in between dream and awake where I found you. Yeah, I found you. When you look up at the sky, do you see my eyes? And if you love me like in my mind, couldn't you just try it? Pick the pieces of this shattered glass up off the floor, 'cause from the start I felt my heart has always been yours. It's always been yours. You tell me that you know me, but you don't see me hurt. My sweet burning heart, my sweet burning heart. I still hear you whisper her name at night. My sweet burning heart, my sweet burning heart. There's a very special place in between dream and awake where I found you, where I found you, yeah. When you look up at the sky, do you see my eyes? And if you love me like in my mind, couldn't you just try it? Pick the pieces of this shattered glass up off the floor, 'cause from the start I felt my heart has always been yours. There's a very special place in between dream and awake where I found you, where I found you, yeah. When you look up at the sky, do you see my eyes? And if you love me like in my mind, couldn't you just try it? Pick the pieces of this shattered glass up off the floor, 'cause from the start I felt my heart has always been yours. Has always been yours.
All right.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very, very nice song.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you. But
And thank you for the shout out to the sound and the credits. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we do.
So
Of
very
course,
much.
of course.
So
Thank you for showing the video. But yeah, no, I mean, thank you for all the compliments. Special compliments, of course, go to the actual writers of the song, of course, and Pepper being one of them. You know, another great guy, her co-writer Jason, and then of course the great producers that kind of help bring it to life.
What was that like for you being able to work with Pepper on that level? As you know, her being the songwriter, what was that creative process like? Were there many edits to the song? Any kind of changes that were significant?
Yeah, I mean, there are literally at least 4 versions of this song, and so it took us, you know, a lot of tweaks to get it right. Actually, Hugo Ferreira of Tantric, me and him originally worked together on this song. We sort of wrote an iteration. Of course, Jason and Pepper had an iteration, and then sort of I took the best of both and worked with an engineer actually here in Connecticut to sort of come up with what you just heard. So there was a lot of iterations, but honestly, Pepper was really easy to work with. She really respected our creative pathways and sort of, you know, was really encouraging. So honestly, a lot of good feedback, which I was surprised because I'm used to constant, you know, between, especially working with some of the producers I've had, there's usually always, you know, some nitpicking and stuff, but she was really great and supportive and she really loved what we did. So I appreciated that. And I mean, she would tell you that I was, you know, probably the most critical person, you know, in the whole project to make sure that we brought her vision to light, you know.
She's always such an aura of positivity. She's just one of the greatest humans. Such a gift, I think, to this entire music community. She really is. And she's been making music for so long. I mean, the wealth of knowledge that she brings to the table is really incredible. So that sounds like it was a really good process for you guys.
Yeah, it was great. And honestly, her as a person too, like even just yesterday, like, you know, I always get myself involved in drama. And so even yesterday I was involved in drama again, and I could just call her and sort of talk through it. And she's really like almost like a mentor, you know, which is great. And something that was really helpful, I think, to get me back on track with this whole music thing, you know, and see what's next. So absolutely, she's great.
Well, I know she's been a godsend to us.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Big time.
Gosh, I love her to death.
We love Pepper here at the Sound, and like I've dealt with her quite a lot with a few things, and she's an angel. You know, she's
Absolutely.
so proactive. I'd message her for something, literally, I get an instant reply and whatever I need within minutes.
Yeah,
She's great.
she's awesome. Do you guys have more stuff than that? Are you working on together in terms of her, perhaps the songwriter, or maybe that you're collaborating on?
So not for this record. However, I do, especially going through this sort of this experience with her, you know, just in this song in particular. Anything that I wrote, you know, whether it be with you know, my producer Sahaj or Brett or any of those guys, I always bring it to her. And of course, Miles Claiborne, who's fantastic. Because, you know, she has a lot of expertise in this area and she has really good taste. And I do, you know, appreciate her sort of tweaking things and sort of helping us get it to where it's going to be, you know, really commercial. So in a way, absolutely. But I hope that I can, you know, she sends me audio clips all the time of her new ideas. So hopefully in the future, there will be a lot more for sure.
Okay.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
So outside of that, what's next outside of, so October is when you are going to be able to do your shows again. So what past October or what is the future for Molly at this time?
I'm taking it one day at a time, you know.
I hear you.
Especially with this broken leg thing. But you know, I don't know. Like I'm just trying to live every day and be excited. And we have, I think, 2 more singles left to come out before everything sort of drops. And I think. And hopefully everything will be out in the air by October, and then we'll go tour and, you know, hopefully meet some new faces. And I'm hoping some of these songs do well. And I'm excited, of course, to come down to Mississippi. Actually, my band right now is a bunch of Mississippi residents as well, including Troy, who I think is watching. He's good. Hi, Troy. So, you know, we're just, like I said, day by day. And as soon as they send me a schedule, as long as my legs work, I'll be there.
And are you still going to have Carrie with you on those shows as well?
Yep, Carrie's staying with me. Carrie's been great. She was really sad that, obviously this happened, but I'm really excited to keep her as support in October for sure. And I think October 28th, we're going to be at the Juke Joint, if I'm not mistaken. And that's, I know, kind of tentative, but I know that a lot of the viewers of this show is kind of in that area. So hopefully we'll see some of you out there, and it'll be exciting. And I think that's right before I'm playing that Halloween cruise, that's I think leaving out of Biloxi or New Orleans or something like that. With
Rocking the Valor.
That's it, Rocking the Valor. I'll be there too.
Rocking the Valor
leaves maybe the next day, so it's gonna be a fun week in the South for sure.
Awesome,
Is that
awesome.
Where exactly is that tour going? I'm trying to look it up. I don't.
The cruise or the tour?
No, your actual tour. Where is that tour going?
Well, so it's gonna go basically up and down the Gulf Coast, from Florida up through Texas. But this is breaking news, so we don't have anything released yet because we had to rearrange things and cancel some things. So it'll be out soon, though, hopefully in the next couple weeks.
Okay. And will it be a full album that you'll be releasing, or?
We're starting with an EP, and then we're gonna see how that goes, and then sort of build from there.
Okay.
Awesome.
That's exciting stuff, though. Yeah, that's really exciting stuff. I mean, it's nice to see that you've gotten your mojo back.
Yep, one step at a time. But
yeah, baby, yeah.
One day at a time. You got to heal up. You got to, get some positivity and get that motor running again. So it's good to see that you haven't lost faith in music or the people that can surround you to help you produce the best stuff that you're capable of getting out there. So I'm glad that you're working with some great people.
Yeah, me too. I'm fortunate, and like I said, I'm sad that I won't be with you guys next week, but I will, or whenever it was, but I will be back soon. And like I said, every day is a new day, so we'll see what happens.
Well, I know I'll either be at the Mobile show or the Ocean Springs show, one of the two, or both. Who knows?
Both. So. We want to see you at both. Definitely.
I'll just be patiently. Yeah, I'll be patiently waiting for Northeast dates, and Matt will be waiting for a UK date.
UK.
So. Yeah.
Oh, Northeast. Where in the Northeast are you?
I'm in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
So maybe Mid-Atlantic, but I do travel up to Jersey, New York City all the time. So anywhere like within a 300-mile radius is usually what I tell people. So if it's within a 300-mile radius, I'll go.
There you go.
Okay, well, we do have stuff for sure in a 300-mile radius, probably November. So we'll see you too. Okay,
then I will look for that announcement.
Perfect.
Come and support you. Absolutely.
Well, Molly, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being patient on coming on a little bit later than what we expected. But we thank you very much. And the next time you want to come on and promote whatever, just let us know.
Thank you.
And you got it. We're always here for you.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Molly.
Welcome. Thank you so much.
Toodles.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. Well,
wow.
Another one down.
Yeah.
So I don't know if all y'all saw it about the show, the next episode. So the next episode is going to feature Julian from Rev Theory.
Yes.
He was the guitarist for Rev Theory. And he is going to talk about the story of how WWE screwed them on Randy Orton's walkout music.
Man.
How it is a Rev Theory song, but Rev Theory has not seen anything from it. So we get to tell that story. Plus, if you want to hear it, Rev Theory has re-released it.
Yeah.
And it's on their Spotify now. So go stream it.
Nice.
Let them make some money off of it this time.
Really?
So there'll be, I'm not sure who else we're going to have, but Julian will join us to talk about some Rev Theory stuff and some new Rev Theory stuff. So if for those of you that remember Rev Theory.
I do. Very
I know
much.
Jerry Falls from Grace has played one, if not two shows with Rev Theory, I think.
Can't remember that, but that means we might have done it. So,
right.
So really quick, before we get to the winner of the grudge match, Matt, I know that one of our, we had a Virtue in the grudge match. Do you want to tell people really quick about the couple shows you went to go see with them? They were co-headlining with Raptors.
My boys in Raptors. Oh my God. Well, you all know that I go to a lot of small venues and see a lot of bands and stuff.
Yeah.
Of Virtue is the best band I have seen live in a small venue, hands down.
Really?
Yeah, they absolutely annihilated it.
See, I have not seen them live. They were supposed to be at Rock in the Sound. They were very much one of the bands I wanted to see. But just like you said, I know that you go to a lot of small clubs, which is my favorite way to see a band by far.
Always.
And you're seeing these guys in the UK. I know you're what is it? Your ears to the street, right? So for you to say that, that's a big
for them to
statement.
co-headline with My Boys in Raptors, and for me to say that, like, and I will tell you now, if they played Rocking the Sound, and I'm going to say this on a live, they would have put 90% of that lineup to shame on that stage.
Matt is coming out swinging with the compliment.
He's coming out with a flamethrower.
No, I'm just saying they were that good.
All right. Okay. I do trust your word. I will say that.
I am in talks with their manager right now to bring him on the podcast on August 2nd. He's just going to confirm it with Damon, and hopefully we'll get him on.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, but yeah, it was great.
All right. Before we get into the winter, don't forget we are just a couple weeks away from Dirty 30 Fest. We don't have another show. Well, we might. I don't know. We don't have another show scheduled before Dirty 30 Fest, but it is happening July 22nd. Just a couple weeks, 1 week from Saturday. One week. We are a week and a half. Shit, we're a week and a half out. So Seventh Day Slumber, Rise Among Rivals, Envision 7, Carbon Stone, them guys. It's all happening July 22nd, a week and a half from today, a week from Saturday at the Juke Joint in Ocean Springs. Tickets are $15 right now at thesound228.com. They are $25 the day of show. So make sure you make your way to the Sound website at thesound228.com and get your tickets now. And them guys is playing that. And then them guys is also playing their own show coming up August 12th. The Hometown Throwdown Music Fest in Thibodaux, Louisiana, which we are a sponsor of. So that's going to be happening in Thibodaux for those of you in Louisiana with them guys, Sledgehammer, Green Gasoline, Love the Hate, Silverdose, Undivided Band, Ferg's Highway, and Heart and Soul. Big lineup there as well.
Kevin, I added during one of the breaks here a tile inside of the app. One click to go to Dirty 30 Fest tickets.
All right, forget the website. Download the app.
I mean, it takes you to download the app.
Just download the app, click on the tile, and get your tickets. It's that simple. That app is a one-stop shop for everything you ever need for the sound. So for those of you, just download it. Where's it at? Right there. So you can download the Sound 228 app. Either one of your stores in the Apple Store or in the Google Play Store, just type in the Sound 228. Download. You get to listen to the radio station. You get to see the Grudge Match Hall of Fame. All the videos are in there by a tile. You just click on the tile and watch all the videos for the Grudge Match Hall of Fame. Get tickets to Dirty 30 Fest. You can request songs on the radio station. And there's I don't know if the shout out button's still on there or not. I have to look. But
not sure, but you said on demand? So like we mentioned, Wake Up Music, that Molly said she likes to listen to the Wake Up Music Hour. That right there on the on demand section, you can listen at any time at your convenience. That playlist. So
absolutely, and then don't forget. Did we ever decide what name we were going to go with?
We need to.
No, we need to. We're still waiting on some final suggestions.
Okay.
I know which one I like.
I'm the one who hasn't voted. Okay.
Why?
Why haven't I? I've been out of town constantly.
Okay. All right.
I've been so busy.
I got you. But one thing I do want to remind everybody of, I'm going to say it right now. A week from Monday. So the 24th. July 24th will be the first edition of Soundcheck.
Nice.
And what Soundcheck is songs that we like, songs that we are considering putting on the radio station, and we are going to give them an entire hour after the Filthy 15 on Monday nights. It'll be the same songs for an entire month, so it'll run for 4 weeks, and you guys will be able to go into the app and request those songs. And possibly those songs may get put into rotation on the radio station. But the sound check will officially start on the 24th of July.
That's huge for bands because it's a way for us to be able to get you on the station quicker. and then us for the feedback to tell what the fans want as well. And as you were saying that, Kevin, I started thinking about Lisa, the way I know you at people a lot on Twitter, right? When there's a song that comes out or whatever. If y'all have Twitter and you like the band, so go down there and tag, any of our profiles, tag the sound and let us know. Vote through the app, right? You can request, I should say, not vote, but you can request the song. So there's 1,000 ways to get our attention. And if you're in a band, tell all your fans to blow up the socials so that we know.
Yep.
Right. And talking of attention, we pay attention.
We do. A lot more than you might think. We are very active, especially me. I'm very active on social media. So if you are adding the sound or me or any of my cohorts in here, because we're all on Twitter, we all have plenty of social media profiles. We're everywhere.
I
You go
suck
ahead
at
and you
Twitter,
hit us
man.
up.
I suck at Twitter.
That's
God,
okay,
I suck
because
at
I
Twitter.
don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I will
I
see
look
you.
at it.
Hit me up.
Yeah.
There's my handle right there for all my socials right there. Metal Mama VA. You throw it at me, and I will definitely take a look at it.
So let me see if I can do this real quick. I don't know if I can. Try.
It's all Star Wars in your
I
office.
know.
there.
I was like, what? Turn into the Emperor? Yeah, you just
I
did
know.
No. Yeah, it doesn't quite work the way I wanted it to. I can't. It's not an MP4, so I can't get to it quick enough to do it for you guys.
Show the winner.
All right, with 70% of the votes tonight, Dark Remedy is your winner for
Congratulations, guys.
the grudge match. They will move on to our next episode on the 26th, and they will take on a new challenger, and then we'll see what happens there. They're 2 wins away from the illustrious Hall of Fame and that Gorilla Trophy.
Yes.
So we got to figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure out the name. I'm sorry. I'm on it. I will cast my vote.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging out. We will talk to you in a couple of weeks, and we will see you in 1 week at Dirty 30 Fest. See ya.
Keep rocking.